All right, so now that we've talked about what a read aloud is and how we are going to be good listeners, remember our second task was to think about why is reading important. So I want you to think in your mind, why is reading important? Why should we read? Is it really, really important? I want you to take a few seconds and I want you to jot down in your notebook why you think reading is important. So I want you to pause the video for just a minute and I want you to write why you think reading is important. Okay, so after you have taken that time to write why you think reading is important, I'm going to share why I think reading is important. So I think reading is important because it helps us understand new stories. We can learn new things and we can have fun together as we read. So those are the things that I think are important as we read. So today, what are we going to read? We are going to read Where the Sidewalk Ends. This is a poem and it is written by Shel Silverstein. And a poem is written to express emotions, feelings, or deep thoughts. So we're going to read this story today. And as we read, I want you to be following some of these expectations for our reading. So the first thing that I want us to make sure we are doing as we read is that we're looking at the text. The text is going to be put on the screen. So make sure that your eyes are on your text because remember, that's what a good listener does. I want you to listen to the story. So you're going to listen as I read. I want us to make sure that we're sitting in one spot. So let's make sure that we're not getting our computer and walking to the living room, into our room, into the kitchen. Make sure that we're sitting in one spot. I want you to be thinking about the text. What are you wondering? What are you questioning? And that's going to be your thinking. You're going to be actively listening. You're going to be thinking about questions. You're going to be thinking about why did the author write this story? You're going to be asking yourself those questions and thinking as we are reading. And then I want you to respond to any questions about the text. So there might be times where I pause and I ask a question. Obviously, we're not doing this live. You're watching a recorded video, but you can respond out loud whenever you're watching. So let's make sure that we're following these things as we're reading and that we're being good listeners. Okay, so we're going to read the text 3 different times. The first time, I'm just going to read the story and you're just going to listen. The second time, we're going to read and visualize what we're reading. The third time, we're going to read the story together. So I'm going to give a little bit more information as we get to those next reads. So let's start with the first read. Here is the story of Where the Sidewalk Ends. And you're going to just listen as I read, and you're going to follow along, actively thinking as I'm reading. So, Where the Sidewalk Ends. There is a place where the sidewalk ends, and before the street begins. And there the grass grows soft and white, and there the sun burns crimson bright. And there the moonbird rests from his flight to cool in the peppermint wind. Let us leave this place where the smoke blows black, and the dark street wends and bends. Past the pits where the asphalt flowers grow, we shall walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and watch where the chalk white arrows go to the place where the sidewalk ends. Yes, we'll walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and we'll go where the chalk white arrows go. For the children they mark and the children they know, the place where the sidewalk ends. So now that we've done the first read, we're going to do the second read and we're going to visualize what the words say. So when we visualize, we make a picture in our minds based on the words that we are reading. So for an example, here are some words here. It was a beautiful day at the beach. So when I read those words, the picture that I visualize is here, a day at the beach. So this next time we read, I want you to be visualizing, making a picture in your mind of what the words are saying. Are you ready? Here we go. Where the sidewalk ends. There is a place where the sidewalk ends, and before the street begins. And there the grass grows soft and white, and there the sun burns crimson bright, and there the moonbird rests from his flight to cool in the peppermint wind. So after I've read that first stanza, what did you picture in your mind? What was this stanza about? I think that the stanza was about telling what the place at the end of the sidewalk looks like. They were giving me some descriptive words that can help me make that picture in my mind. The grass grows soft and white. Can you picture in your mind grass growing? So now let's read the second stanza, and I want you to visualize and think about what it's about. Let us leave this place where the smoke blows black and the dark street winds and bends. Past the pits where the asphalt flowers grow, we shall walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and watch where the chalk white arrows go to the place where the sidewalk ends. So, what do you think that is saying there? I think that they're leaving a dark place to go where the sidewalk ends, because it kind of gave me some words that says the smoke blows black. But so can you picture in your mind smoke blowing black smoke going up? Okay. So let's read the third stanza. Yes, we'll walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and we'll go where the chalk white arrows go. For the children they mark, and the children they know. The place where the sidewalk ends. So, what does this stanza make you see in your mind? It makes me think that the children know where the sidewalk ends. So, I hope you were able to visualize and think about what this text is talking about. Now, we're going to read the text one more time, and we're going to read this one together. Now, I know we're not in person, but we can still read this text together. So, we're going to read it, and when I snap, I want you to read the next word out loud. So, I know you're watching this recorded, but you can still say the word out loud wherever you are. So, let's practice with the title. So, I'm going to snap for the word ends, and when I snap, you're going to read it. Got it? Here we go. Where the sidewalk. And so when I snap, I hope you said the word ends. So whenever I snap, I want you to read that next word. Capiche? Here we go. Where the sidewalk. There is a place where the sidewalk and before the street begins, and there the grass grows and white, and there the sun burns crimson bright, and there the moonbird rests from his flight to cool in the peppermint. Let us leave this place where the smoke blows and the dark street winds and bends. Past the pits where the asphalt flowers grow, we shall walk with a walk that is measured and watch where the chalk white arrows go to the place where the sidewalk ends. Yes, we'll walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and we'll go where the chalk white arrows go. For the children they mark, and the children the place where the sidewalk. So I hope you were able to follow along with me, and I hope that you were able to continue visualizing and continue thinking about what the text is saying. So in our next part, we're going to talk to you about how you're going to show what you learned today in today's lesson.